Sam's baby brother is collecting footage for everyone else in the family. It's like, guys, this is what this guy does Saturday.
For our game.
Yeah.
Okay.
With these crazy chicks who talk about TV.
And Tinder.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Whenever
Okay.
you're ready.
Mshauri careers, hanging with them now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Lily, but you can call me L.
I'm Modani. You can call me M.
And in today's episode, we'll be dissecting John Doe's CV Part 2.
If you missed part 1, we covered the introduction of the CV, career objective section, academia, and technical training.
And in today's episode, we'll be jumping more deeply into the work experience, so the meat of the CV, and any additional information at the end, such as your references, your hobbies, and so on. So work experience, Modani.
Yeah.
Kick us off.
Let's dive in. Okay. So this, as you said, is at the heart of the CV. And we can see here John Doe has made a fair attempt at what is required, but there are some mistakes that he has made.
Yes, I like the fact that they've put some of the essentials, which is important, i.e. where you currently work,
Yes.
the position, and the period. But I think they should put when in 2020? Is
Yes,
it
that is
December
so
2020?
general.
Is it January 2020?
yeah.
Because that actually impacts your length of experience. So I think they need to be a little bit more specific.
Correct. And then the format here, guys, as you can see, is a bit wonky. The bullets are misaligned, they're mixed up, the different sizes, the fonts are different, the sizes are different. So here's where visually you should make sure the font is the same. Keep it safe, classic fonts like Times New Roman, Arial, Calibri, and the size should be consistent too. Standard font size is like 10 or 11. 12 might be too large, but vary it so that you can see what works for your CV.
Another thing that you see here that John Doe has done is they've mixed some tenses. So you see developing, collecting, and then at the last bullet point before the achievements, they put created. If it is your current role, make sure that you use present tense. However, if it is a
So
previous
developing
role, yes.
is correct, collecting, researching, okay.
But if it is a previous role, then you can use past tense. You can say created, because that's not what you're doing anymore.
Okay. I also note that they've left some sentences hanging. So collecting and analyzing data. What data for what purpose? Always think through these 3 parts of a sentence as you point out what your responsibilities were in the job. So here, John Doe ought to have written collecting and analyzing customer data for trend analysis.
Exactly. Yes, it makes sense. So that it's actually telling you what you were doing, the purpose of it, and what types of skills you needed, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Let's look at the achievement section. I like this. I like that they have a section for achievements, and I actually would recommend that.
Achievements, though, there's 3, and he said achievements.
Yes,
Achievements. Okay.
Above and beyond the S and the grammar, actually moving it before the roles and responsibilities, and start with the achievements and then the roles and responsibilities. The reason I say that is that it makes your CV more attractive because it actually helps me see how skilled you are and what you've done, because you'll find that roles and responsibilities are generic across where you go. A marketing manager in this telco company will have the same skills as a marketing manager in that type of company. So in order to push yourself and stand out, put the achievements first and then put the roles and responsibilities.
Okay. And now to what they've written here as their achievements. Taking the company to the next level. I commend them for the creativity. That's clever.
Yes.
But it doesn't really say anything.
It doesn't say anything. And if you are stating an achievement, it needs to be quantifiable if possible, and it needs to show impact. For example, if you say, I joined the company and I recruited 5 individuals. What did these 5 individuals do exactly? So these 5 individuals opened a whole new department, and we managed to launch a whole new product, and from this product we raised our profits by 20%.
Excellent.
And
now
that's how
an
you
achievement.
took the company to the next level, you know?
And one thing, guys, that you ought to remember is you don't want to have a doer's CV where all you point out are tasks that you perform on a day-to-day. It really doesn't say anything about you that that encourages me to invite you for an interview, because that's the point of your CV. So you want to have an achiever's CV with a balance of the things that you do. So emphasis on having those achievements well written out will transform your CV tremendously.
And I think the last point that I want to drill home that we've talked about previously is customization. Customize, customize, customize. Sometimes you'll find that people just blob every single block on their work day-to-day activities.
Yeah, like 15 bullets,
but it's
copy-pasted from the JD.
It's not necessary
job description
from what the new role is looking for. So what has been drilled down as the person is looking for, then put that in the CV and highlight those. And if it comes up later in an interview process, then you can always bring it up. You don't have to throw everything in the kitchen sink hoping that it will stick.
All right, that covers work experience. I find it's better to start with the job first, then organization, because that's what psychologically as a recruiter I'm looking for. So it's position, position, position throughout, then followed by organization, followed by the period.
I think it's interchangeable to me, as long as that you keep it consistent, but I do find that the period should be last. I think that it reads well. Yeah. Whether it's the job organization, to me, it's neither here or there.
Okay.
Also, the last thing I want to point out, unless you see something else, is jargon. Sometimes, depending on where you work internally, you have certain names or acronyms. Like here, they have CRM. What exactly do they mean by CRM? What might be sort of obvious to you might not be to someone else. So just make sure that if you use jargon, that you spell it out in full and then maybe put in brackets, and then thereafter you can use the CRM acronym.
And this is where the customization comes in as well. So if you're applying to a job that's very unique and requires specific experience with certain systems, this is the chance where you can work in that to your CV if you have that experience. Again, don't lie. So if you do have customer relationship management system experience, then put that there if it's required in the job. Another thing is the grammar. So look at what John Doe has written here. Managing, organize marketing events. So read and reread these sentences so that they are grammatically correct. And remember, the rule of thumb here is have people review your CV for you before you send it. Yeah, there's things that you will just not be able to see because you've been looking at it for so long.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And one question we get asked ever so often is, how long should your CV be?
Yeah.
And I think that one needs to be taken as per individual. For example, if you're an executive director with 20 years of experience, you don't need to put your internship experience because it is not relevant. However, if you are a student, obviously that would be relevant.
And maybe that's all the experience you have.
Yes, and even if you have volunteer work, put it there. Yeah. So I would say, rule of thumb, just look at where you are in your career. Is the roles and responsibilities relevant to what you are applying for? And if not, you can just omit it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Or what I've seen other people do is create a section called Other Roles Held and just itemize the positions, comma, organizations, so that then that's like a compressed paragraph with those bullets, and that covers all the jobs. And if your interviewer would like to know more, then they'll ask you, and at least you wouldn't have left anything out.
I think that covers it when it comes to work experience.
Yeah. So now we are covering the rest of the CV, and John Doe has chosen to conclude his CV with language, hobbies, and referees, which is quite typical of most CVs we see. Yeah. So let's look at language. This is great that he's put it here.
Yeah, I think it's good that he's put it there. I think the only thing that I might look into is maybe why have they decided to bold and underline it while with the other sort of sections.
Such a mix of formats from what we've seen up there.
Yeah. And then another thing I'll add is I think this is the only time that I co-sign for putting level of proficiency. I remember when we had previously in our first episode talked about
skills and experience
and putting whether it's stars or whatnot.
Yeah, that was funny, yeah.
But with language, it's universal. And that's why I say it's okay to quantify, because when you say basic French, it's basic French universally.
Conversational.
If you say conversational, it is understood universally. When you say fluent, it's understood.
Okay.
So in this specific segment, I am all for quantifying the level of proficiency.
Makes sense. I agree. Hobbies, my favorite section. So John Doe says one of his hobbies is making friends. Guys, this is life. Okay, there are some things that are hobbies and some things that are not. So things like making friends.
I'll be very honest to you.
When it
comes to hobbies, Mudoni, I don't care for it. Like for me, I know you have some people who they find it as a good icebreaker, but to be honest, I don't care.
I do, and I think it helps us when we interview you to have a way in trying to get to know you. I personally, when I interview, that's where I start. I'm like, okay, I can see that you one of your hobbies is basketball. Do you play? Do you follow the NBA? Who are some of your favorite teams? Now, this is a way to loosen a candidate up and get them to relax, but it's something I like.
I guess to each man his own, but something that I will say, if you do put hobbies, make sure that you also are proficient in those hobbies. For example, if you say you're an avid reader and you like to, I don't know, read on a weekly basis, and then I ask you, what is your favorite book or what have you read recently, and you freeze up on me. I mean, it doesn't look good when you're stumbling on your own hobbies.
Referees.
I
say no. Don't put them. Don't even tell me that they're available upon request. That's obvious. If I need them, I'll ask. So save space and delete.
I'll jump in a little bit there. I think it's okay to put available on request. I don't think there's any harm or any foul. What I do say though is, I would not put your referees, and if you have put them, there are some very key things that you need to do. One, you need to engage your referee and make sure that they're aware that they are on your CV and that you have shared their contact details.
Yeah, okay.
Another thing is you also need to make sure that they're up to date. I have seen people put referees of individuals who have since changed their job 5 times. You need to put the reference of where this person is currently
working. Let it be accurate. Yeah.
Let it be accurate, but I agree with you. Generally, I would not put referees.
And protect their identity too. You'll be surprised as well. Your referees can sabotage your opportunity to get a job. And this is how. The job that's advertised is marketing manager. You're a marketing assistant. You've gone and put 3 marketing managers in different companies as your referees. As a recruiter, I'll call them for the job. Okay? So be very careful. And that's why I actually discourage putting referees, but Lily disagrees. If you put them, follow her advice, okay?
And I think that wraps up general format when it comes to talking about
CVs
and dissecting John Doe's CV, to be specific. So we've just finished dissecting John Doe's CV in a 2-part series. We looked at the do's and don'ts from the top, from your bio to the meat of the CV, all the way to referencing. And if you like what you see, Mudani, where can you find us?
You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. So like us in all those pages and engage with us. And we're going to actually give you a few seconds to subscribe to our channel. So go ahead.
Are those clicks I hear?
I hear some clicks. So thank you guys, and until next time.
Bye.
Bye.